Welcome to the He's Got Issues Independent Comics Edition number 38. I'm John Cooney here to preview new independent comics being released December 11th, 2013, beginning alphabetically with Boom Studios and Three Guns number 5. Burned by her government handler and left for dead, Joey must team up with Bobby and Marcus to fight their way through both the separatist militia and the Russian mafia with stolen weapons and money intact. Next, we have Adventure Time Candy Capers number 6 of 6. It's the conclusion to this sugary sweet mystery of a series. Has Peppermint Butler finally found Oo's new protectors? Will Cinnamon Bun ever stop trying to help? You definitely don't want to miss this final issue as Peppermint Butler and Cinnamon Bun finally figure out what has happened to Finn and Jake. We've also got Daymen number 2. David Reed is not having a good day. A full-blown war has erupted between the Virgo and Ramses families, and David is left to pick up the pieces while his vampire employers sleep. But with the Ramses legendary Dayman Jacob the Burner on his tail, will David even make it to sundown? Next we have Deathmatch number 12. The final battle is here as the two heroes left standing wage war for the fate of the universe. The conclusion of the vaunted superhero maxi series from famed creators Paul Jenkins and Carlos Magno. We've also got Protocol number 2 of 4. Being a member of this family means a lifetime of death, danger, changed identities, and buried memories. After the mysterious murder of a fellow orphan, our agents are thrust headfirst into another mission. On the tail of the high society funders of the terrorist Operation Black Friday, our agents are further from the truth than they could ever imagine. We've also got regular show Skips number 2 of 6. This vacation isn't what it seems, and Skips is starting to think there's a lot more going on with the tourist than just fanny packs and sunscreen. Will he be able to figure out what's really going on before his day suddenly repeats? Join Skips in this crazy adventure that just might never end. And we've got Sons of Anarchy number 4. With Kendra's life on the line, tensions rise and guns are drawn. As the Ghost brothers close in on Kendra's location, Jax must win Lynn over to the side of honor and family, driving the Sons closer to war with Griggs. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Abe Sapien number 8. Abe dives into a horrific cavern believed to be a portal to the Mayan version of hell. Next, we've got Brain Boy number 0. When the United States Secret Service needs to make sure a location is safe for the president, they call Matt Price, aka Brain Boy, the world's most powerful telepath. Raised by his parents' employer after their deaths, Matt studied and honed his incredible psychic abilities under the tutelage of Albright Industries. Jump back in time to one of Brain Boy's first missions with this number 0 issue. He may have a powerful mind, but he's in over his head. Collects the Brain Boy run from Dark Horse Presents. We've also got Clown Fatale number 2 of 4. Harlequin vixens Chloe, Aya, Tina, and Candy may not be assassins, but they're armed and dangerous and pissed. The girls must accept a local yokel crime boss's murder-for-hire contract if they ever hope to escape the demeaning life of being clowns in a 2-bit circus. Next, we've got Conan and the People of the Black Circle number 3 of 4. Desperate soldiers, ruthless mercenaries, vengeance-crazed tribesmen, and evil sorcerers, they're all out for Conan's blood. After the Black Seers of Yimsha seize Queen Yasmina and withdraw to their mountain fortress, will the Cimmerian be able to reclaim the woman that he himself has taken hostage? We've also got Eerie Comics number 4. Cousin Eerie's back to write your prescription for terror. Prepare to show symptoms of psychological disturbances after psycho treatment by Professor Al Ewing and Kelly Sawbones Jones, while Dan Jolie, MD, and Norm Brayfogle diagnose you with eternal doom. It's time for your annual chilling checkup. Next we have Halo Escalation number 1. Halo, the most celebrated video game series of all time, joins forces with Dark Horse for a thrilling new ongoing series. The UNSC flagship Infinity is assigned escort duty for a diplomatic mission between the Arbiter and a powerful chieftain of the Brute tribes. But when a rogue Covenant group attacks, it's going to take all the firepower the Spartans have to keep the delegates alive. We've also got Shaolin Cowboy number 3 of 4. The saga of the Shaolin Cowboy's war against the Walking Dead, who have followed him from the 4th level of hell, is running on fumes. Will he, with only his fists and twin chainsaws, be able to reform this Congress of Undead before its mindless hunger and overpowering self-interest overrun the world? We've also got Star Wars number 12. After a battle with the Empire, it's time for reunions, departures, and reassessments. Han and Chewie return from their mission to Coruscant. Luke deals with love lost, and Leia must accept greater responsibility within the rebellion. But first, she has an important announcement for the rebel commanders. And we've got X number 8. Redoso and his partners have Lee safely in custody, but Lieutenant Setter and the Dogs of War will stoop to any low to snatch her away. The struggle with the police force erupts into a full-on firefight when X shows up to enforce his own law, and what he does next will shock you. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash number 4 of 6. Ash and Cassie head to Connecticut to stop a heavy metal wizard intent on reviving a long-dead witch, but the fires built for human sacrifices might not be the only heat between our heroes. Next, we have Battlestar Galactica Starbuck number 2 of 4. The origin of Lieutenant Starbuck continues, told by #1 New York Times bestselling author Tony Lee. 2 years before the attack on Simtar, Starbuck has hit rock bottom. But when a clue to the Cylon spy behind the attack on Umbra appears, Starbuck finally has a chance to gain justice for his parents. But can Starbuck and Apollo find the spy before the Cylons stop them? We've also got Doc Savage number 1. In 1933, readers were first introduced to Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. Raised from the cradle to be the pinnacle of mental and physical perfection, Doc Savage travels the world using science and sinews to right wrongs, aid the oppressed, and liberate the innocent. With his team of able associates at their headquarters high atop the tallest building in the world, Doc Savage is tireless in his pursuit of knowledge and justice. Next, we have Grimm the Warlock number 1 of 5. Check out this new miniseries based on the hit NBC show. Follow Portland detective Nick Burkhart on his adventures as a cop and as a monster hunting Grimm. Nick and his partner Hank have to put a stop to a fixed basketball game that will keep the hometown team out of the playoffs, but the stakes are even higher when Nick finds the dangerous Wesson at the heart of the case. We've also got King's Watch number 3. Jeff Parker and Mark Lamming propel further into the epic event. Phantom, Mandrake, and Flash Gordon have gone through hell to stop the Cobra from reaching the King's Watch, but the mastermind pulls one last deception on them all and gets exactly what he seeks. Now the forces of the universe turn against us and unleash a fate that changes the world. We've also got Pathfinder number 12. The Pathfinder adventurers barely survived their first confrontation with Black Fang. How will they endure now that the dragon is empowered by Thelsakar's dark magic? The second Pathfinder adventure ends with wall-to-wall action. The hit comic series based on Paizo's incredible award-winning fantasy world, fiction line, and tabletop RPG continues. Sword and sorcery fans and gamers alike will enjoy this latest chapter from Paizo Publishing and Dynamite Entertainment. Next, we have Sherlock Holmes, Moriarty Lives, number 1 of 5. Professor James Moriarty has faced his arch rival, Sherlock Holmes, above Rickenbach Falls, where they both plummeted to their doom. Or have they? Washed ashore in a strange town in Switzerland, Moriarty is alone, penniless, and without his network of thieves. Will his cunning and guile be enough against a foe more ruthless than Holmes himself? It's one of the greatest villains of all time, as you've never seen him. We've also got Uncanny number 5. Weaver discovers he's just a tiny cog in a big machine as he unlocks the secret of Maggie's past and Deacon Styles' true agenda. But what does it have to do with the shadowy organization known as Cadre, and what is their connection to the world of the specials? And we've got Warlord of Mars, Dejah Thoris number 33. Recently, Dejah discovered she had an older brother she never knew existed. Bent by his harsh upbringing as a slave, Kajak Thoris is determined to destroy the family that he feels should have been rightfully his. Will Dejah have to spill her family's blood in order to save it? From IDW Publishing, we've got Danger Girl The Chase number 4 of 4. The final episode is even faster and more frantic than the first 3, and, dear reader, that's saying a lot. Abby, Sydney, and Sonia are on a frenzied collision course of a mission that finds them sliding headfirst into danger. Will they come up safe or be tagged out at the plate? Find out in the most energized comic you'll read this year. Next, we have G.I. Joe number 11, The Origin of Roadblock. How did a humble army chef become the Man Mountain we know and love? Hint, it wasn't through home cooking. We've also got G.I. Joe Special Missions number 10, Destro Must Die, Part 1. The Special Missions team recruits Copperback from a Supermax prison to lead them to her former employer, Laird Destro. Cobra's favorite weapons maker is in G.I. Joe's crosshairs, but only if they can survive their alliance with the deadly and duplicitous Copperback. Next, we've got Haunted Horror number 8. Dear Pre-Code horror fans, a big thanks to all the folks that come up to me at conventions where I've been a guest and said how they got and love what we're doing with this comic. Reprinting beautifully reproduced, never-seen, rare horror comic book stories with amazing art or wild concepts. All this love for haunted horror by fans and the support by comic shop owners is deeply appreciated. Please join the Facebook group Horror Comics 1950s and Beyond for news, comic covers, foreign treasures, rare original art, and fun fellowship of a great group of collectors and horror comic fans. This is Craig Yo, aka the horror host for Lock the Warlock. We've also got Indestructible number 1 of 4. Meet Greg Pincus, the planet's brand spanking newest superhero. One small problem, Greg is neither super nor particularly heroic, but he sure enjoys the perks that come with the job. Can Greg survive a celebrity-obsessed world that wrongly believes he's indestructible? Jeff Klein explores this comedic take on a reluctant hero and contemplates what is required to be considered special in a world where fame can come and go faster than a speeding bullet. Next we have Magic the Gathering Theros number 2 of 4. Dak Faden follows the trail of his most recent stolen artifact to Theros, where he makes his way to Sinister Island that holds the secrets of his newest acquisition, but such powerful artifacts are rarely left unguarded. We've also got Maxx Maxximized number 2. The second issue of Sam Keith's classic Maxx series continues with all pages completely rescanned from Sam's original art and new coloring that's overseen by the creator. For longtime fans, this completely remastered version of Keith's quirky classic is truly a brand new look at an old and treasured friend. For those just new to the Maxx, Julie in the Outback, we envy your discovering it for the first time. Next we have Memory Collectors number 2 of 3. Magdalena and Edith join the mercurial Beatrice and venture forth to battle demon vampire hordes in an attempt to confront the actual forces behind them. Amid the ensuing chaos, the models turned hunters pay a severe price for their perceived transgression. We've also got Other Dead number 4 of 6. The hurricane has hit land and President Obama is trapped with Tommy and Az in the zombie animal-infested disaster zone. All-star creators Kevin Eastman, Joshua Ortega, and Digger T. Mesh join up with rising star King Ping Mu for the action-packed 4th issue of the year's most talked-about new horror series. We've also got Powerpuff Girls number 4. Beware crime, for the city of Townsville is being overrun with heroes. That's right, the ex-villains have teamed up alongside the Powerpuff Girls as protectors of this fair city. Wow, Blossom was right. Everyone does deserve a second chance after all. But wait, what's that sound? Where's that evil laughter coming from? Oh no, something's going very wrong. Powerpuff Girls, help! Next we have Richard Stark's Parker Slayground hardcover. Darwin Cook's masterful and multi-award-winning series of Parker graphic novels continues with Slayground. Parker, whose getaway car crashes after a heist, manages to elude capture with his loot by breaking into an amusement park that's closed for the winter. But his presence does not go unnoticed. A pair of cops observe the job and its aftermath, but rather than pursue their suspect, they decide to go into business for themselves with the help of some business associates. From then on, it's a game of cat and mouse, one played out through the closed rides of the abandoned carnival, a game that slowly starts to favor the mouse. We've also got Rocketeer the Spirit, Pulp Friction number 4 of 4. In Central City, Denny and Cliff, aka the Spirit and the Rocketeer, are on the trail of a deviously dangerous glove-wearing foe. But will they be able to unravel the web of mystery and intrigue they have become embroiled in? Find out in the grand finale of Pulp Friction as two timeless characters finally discover the truth. Or do they? Bonus, what happened to our hapless heroines, Betty and Ellen? Next we have Star Trek Annual 2013 by John Byrne, a special extra-length one-of-a-kind photo novel sequel to the beloved classic. Years ago James Kirk saved his ship, but the price was the life of his oldest friend in Starfleet. Or was it? The crew of the Starship Enterprise faces a staggering discovery in a brand new episode of the original Star Trek. We've also got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics Volume 2 number 2, The Unmentionables. On the snowy streets of Northampton, aboard Casey Jones has gone from vigilante to old-school gumshoe, prowling the quiet streets looking for a case. He gets his wish in the form of a stolen golden cow, a kidnapped April O'Neil, and Slovakian mobsters. Can the Turtles bail him out of this misadventure of bovine proportions? Originally published as Mirage's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 14. We've also got Transformers Prime Beast Hunters number 8 of 8. The fight for Cybertron, Grimlock and his Dinobots meet up with old allies and try to stop the new threat to the planet. But as things get heated, the outcome becomes uncertain, a new beginning or the end of the Dinobots. We've also got Wraith, Welcome to Christmas Land number 2 of 5. Desperate men will do desperate things. It was desperation that drove Ches Llewellyn to commit a crime that bought him 7 years hard time. And it's desperation of another sort that drives the King Geek, Dennis Sykes, to attempt a jailbreak of staggering ingenuity and violence. Ches will find himself hauled along for the ride, a ride so terrifying it could almost be one of the attractions in scenic Christmasland. We've also got X-Files Classics number 1. Check out the first time the truth was in comics with this new edition of the First Top's X-Files comic for only $1. And we've got X-Files Season 10 number 7, Hosts Part 2 of 2. Missing persons reports point to the return of a giant blood-sucking worm known as the Flukeman, sending Mulder to Martha's Vineyard to investigate and Scully to Quantico to examine the supposed remains of the creature. and what they both discover lies beyond belief and terror. From Image Comics, we've got Alex and Ada number 2 of 15. Alex struggles with figuring out what to do with Ada, his new android, before anyone finds out about her. She's not what he expected. Next we have Chew number 38, Family Recipe Part 3, Cybopath Behind Bars. We've also got Darkness number 116, series finale. As the darkness virus becomes a citywide epidemic, the old gods run rampant. What will it take for Jackie Estacado to reclaim the darkness from his nefarious doppelganger? Next we have Dead Body Road number 1, the men involved in his wife's death must die, all of them. Writer Justin Jordan and artist Mateo Scalera craft the bruising story of one man's revenge and the dark road he travels. We've also got Drumheller number 2. Psychedelic detective Drumheller searches for a wayward bogman but finds mutilated livestock instead. Meanwhile, someone else has a gruesome job in mind for Drum's elusive, soggy bog buddy and a new mystery for him to investigate himself. We've also got Godland Finale. At long last, the finale is here. 72 pages of giant God comics. What began 8 long years ago comes to its cosmic conclusion. Will all questions be answered? Let's just put it this way, this is it. The single issue where comic books are changed forever is finally dropping. Buy this book and take the next step. Next we have Invincible number 107. Monax did not deserve this life. Monster Girl has to deal with her failure as a father. Not a typo, it's complicated. All the while the greatest foe Invincible has ever faced plans to make his move. We've also got Krampus number 1. Meet the Secret Society of Santa Clauses. For centuries, Father Christmas, Dead Moroz, Hodio, and others have magically distributed Christmas cheer to children around the world. But when the source of their power is stolen, a desperate society turns to an unusual source for help, the dreaded Krampus, child-punishing demon of holiday lore. Free of his cell for the first time in decades, will the Krampus uncover the truth behind the Santa's depowering, or leave his jailers to their ultimate fate? It's Snake Plissken by way of the Grinch as the darkly comedic adventure begins here. We've also got Lazarus number 5, new story arc, Lift Part 1. Following Jonah's betrayal, Forever is beginning to question the nature of family, in particular her own. Waste from all over the Carlisle domain traveled to Denver in hopes of improving their lives. Next we have Manifest Destiny number 2. Lewis and Clark uncover a new breed of savage creature with the Louisiana Purchase. No wonder the French gave it up so easily. Next we have Protectors Inc. number 2, an unexplained local disappearance, a corpse that lands several hundred miles from the scene of the crime, and the very first death of one of the Protectors. What do these 3 seemingly unrelated incidents have in common, and why is Protectors Inc. so determined to whitewash the possibility that the superpowered hero was murdered? Lieutenant Detective Riley may be the only one who really wants to discover the truth. We've also got Satellite Sam number 5. The plot sickens as Michael and Kara descend into some dark places together, all in the name of discovering the truth behind Carlisle White's death. The only truth they're going to find is that some hungers never go away. Meanwhile, Guy finds himself between a rock and a hard place as his secret threatens to sneak out. It's sex, death, and live TV the way you demanded it from the summer's dark noir smash. We've also got 3, number 3, Curse the Spartan who is Trembler, shave his beard, rip his cloak, beat or spit on him if you will. If you found yourself condemned in such a fashion, a few short years after all of Sparta's men ran, the hypocrisy could bite. Discover why it's not just the helots who suffer under Spartan law, and discover what a Trembler plans for the 3 slaves responsible for his shame. And we've got Walking Dead number 118, All Out War continues, Maggie takes a stand as Rick's new plan comes together. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got Archer and Armstrong number 16, Showdown on the Lowdown. The secret factions of the sex civil war steamroll into the biggest battle yet. The multiple sects that secretly govern our world have stepped out of the shadows and right into each other's faces. Now the newly reunited Archer and Armstrong, for now, must stand tall in this conspiracy free-for-all and find a way to not only survive, but save the world in the process, again. Next we have Harbinger number 19, Perfect Day, No More. The grim truth behind the most shocking arc of Harbinger yet is finally revealed. Peter Stanchek prepares for the mental battle of his life, with the fate and freedom of his fellow renegades hanging in the balance. And we've got Unity number 2. Broken but not beaten, Unity has to put down Exo Manowar and avert nuclear war. But Harada's super team lasted a grand total of 5 minutes last issue before they were taken out. Time for Unity 2.0. But how do you get a cast of malcontents, egotists, immortal warriors, and manipulative backstabbers to work together? The answer? You don't tell them they're working together. Out in trades this week, we've got Deathmatch Volume 2 trade paperback. The second round of the Ultimate Battle Royale begins here as the world's greatest superheroes are forced to fight each other to the death in a mysterious, otherworldly prison. The mysteries grow deeper and the casualty list grows longer as Deathmatch continues. Next, we've got Michael Avon Alming's Victories Volume 2 Transhuman trade paperback. Following the Jackal's face-off with Faustus and an attack on U.S. infrastructure, the Victories face a plague of new evils. Can the Victories overcome their own spiritual demons to keep the team together and save the world? Collects issues number 1 through 5 of the ongoing series, and Dark Horse presents installments. We've also got Doctor Who Series 2, The Girl Who Waited, The Boy Who Lived hardcover. The complete 16-issue Series 2 featuring the first comic book tales of the 11th Doctor is portrayed by Matt Smith, plus the 2011 annual are collected in this volume. And we've got Morning Glories Volume 6 trade paperback. After the climactic events of the Season 2 premiere, the Glories and the Truants find themselves more lost than ever before, haunted by the things they've seen and done. Collecting the suspense and heartbreaks-filled arc Demerits. Collects Morning Glories number 30 to 34. Okay, so that's a look at some of the top independent publishers this week, but there's still plenty of other books out as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com to see both the Marvel and DC videos for this week, as well as my usual roundup of all my favorites for the week with a little more depth and insight than you get here. And if you like these videos, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment and subscribing. You can also follow He's Got Issues on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr to see everything I'm reading as I read it. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.